Hi guys. To assess which volcano is the most dangerous volcano in the world, several factors must be considered, including population density around active volcanoes, type of magma output, and volcanic eruption history. For example, the eruption of an erupting volcano in a remote area is not as dangerous as in a densely populated area that requires extensive evacuation. On the other hand, volcanoes that have been erupting for a long time since their last eruption will have a more dangerous eruption due to the high pressure. In terms of chemical composition, magma content is one of the most important factors in assessing volcanic risk. Geologists divide cows into acidic and alkaline based on the amount of silica. In acidic lava, the amount of silica is much higher than alkaline lava. The amount of silica in the magma composition affects the thickness of the lava and the shape of the volcano. Silica can indicate how dangerous an eruption is because it tends to crystallize in the cooling lava, thereby increasing the viscosity of the magma, making it thicker. Magma that can cause a volcano to erupt. Increasing the level of silica in magma, in addition to viscosity, also changes the type of lava flow and causes pyroclastic flow. During pyroclastic flow, a mixture of lava, ash, rock, and hot gases, such as a hot avalanche, flows rapidly downstream. Here are the 10 most dangerous and deadly volcanoes. Before watching this video, please subscribe to our channel and like to support us. One. Volcano Vesuvius. Mount Vesuvius in Italy has always been a dangerous mountain since the great eruption of Pompeii in 79 AD. According to the Smithsonian Institution, over the past 17,000 years, the volcano has gone through 8 major eruptions with the eruption. The most famous eruption of Vesuvius in 79 AD led to the complete destruction of the cities of Pompeii and Herculaneum, which was usually very severe and was accompanied by masses of gas and ash up to several kilometers high. If Vesuvius were to rush into the present age, the surrounding population would have had to evacuate the area long before the earthquake before the eruption, but those who survived would quickly fall under the rain of rock fragments. They are buried and suffocate the clouds of gas and gas. The hot dust of the mountain grooves that flows from the bottom path. Today, more than 6 million people live in the area around this volcanic mountain. Since Vesuvius has always been active, its eruption could be a major disaster, although the Italian government has taken many steps to reduce the damage caused by subsequent mountain eruptions. The last eruption of this dangerous volcano dates back to 1944. When 4 villages and 88 warplanes were destroyed. Vesuvius is 400 meters in diameter, and although it has been erupting for years, it is still active and more than 700 earthquakes occur around it every year. 2. Mount Rainier. Mount Rainier is the highest mountain in Washington, D.C., located 59 kilometers from Seattle. Rainier is one of the most dangerous active volcanoes in the world. Rainfall volcanoes are among the most dangerous volcanoes in the world, some of which are altitudes, mountain chemical compositions, proximity to the outskirts of Seattle and Tacoma, and their high ability to generate severe torrential currents. The heat from the lava flow could potentially melt the snow and ice of this large mountain, resulting in rapid lash flows called the lahar, according to the U.S. Geological Survey, USGS. Forming large currents in lahar, one of the biggest dangers of a rainforest eruption, which is why about 2 million people now live in areas close to the volcano. Read more. Volcanic eruptions cause the largest mass extinction in Earth history. 3. Barupta volcano. Novarupta volcano is located in Katmai National Park, Alaska, USA. This mountain has a very strange appearance and the biggest eruption of the 20th century has happened. The horrific eruption occurred in 1912, when more than 10,000 villages were buried under its lava, causing extensive damage to locals. In that eruption, with the release of 30 cubic kilometers of ash and dust from the volcano, a large current was formed and caused the formation of a huge valley of 10,000 smoke. According to researchers, the eruptions that occurred on Mount Erupt are very unique and do not resemble the eruptions of other volcanoes in the region. The U.S. government has taken many steps to protect the area from damage caused by a possible eruption of this dangerous volcano. 4. Mount Pinatubo. Mount Pinatubo is located on the island of Luzon in the Philippines and is one of the most dangerous volcanoes in the world. The Pinatubo eruption in 1991 was the second major eruption of the 21st century that killed a person of 700 people, and a relatively large population, nearly 21 million people, living in the surrounding area, and the Philippine government has always monitored the area to minimize the damage caused by taking necessary measures in the event of a volcano eruption. The Pinatubo volcano had no activity until the 1991 eruption. In fact, it was the first major and destructive phenomenon of Mount Pinatubo's first eruption in a few thousand years, ranked 6th in the world in terms of intensity. 5. Mount St. Helens. Mount St. Helens is another of the most dangerous volcanoes in the world, and like the Rainier volcano in Washington state, the volcanic mountain had a height of 3,000 meters and a conical shape before the eruption of 1980, but after a catastrophic eruption that year, its shape was flattened and reduced to 400 meters. The 1980 eruption was the most dramatic and deadly volcanic event in U.S. history, destroying 57 people and destroying more than 320 square kilometers of surrounding forest along with the animals that lived there. According to the U.S. Geological Survey, the mountain's history of volcanic eruptions suggests it will have more activity in the future. The area where Mount St. Helens is located is always monitored so that measures are taken quickly to prevent residents from being killed in the event of an accident. Read more: what happens if all the Earth's volcanoes erupt together? 6. Mount Agung. Mount Agung is located in the east of Bali Island, Indonesia, and is the highest and holiest mountain on the island and is more than 3,000 meters high, the crater located at a depth of 200 meters from the summit. After 120 years of blackouts, Agung had a major eruption in 1963, which is referred to as one of the largest eruptions of the 20th century, with more than 1,600 people dying and about 86,000 homeless. The last eruption of the Agung volcano dates back to November 2017. Since then there has always been a gas and lava outflow from the crater, which is why the area is heavily monitored. Today, about 4 million people live in areas around the mountain, which is one of the most important causes of its exposure to one of the most dangerous volcanoes in the world. 7. Mount Fuji. Mount Fuji is one of the most dangerous volcanoes in the world, in addition to being the country's highest mountain. The last eruption of this dangerous mountain dates back to 1707, with some geologists believing that a major earthquake earlier that year was probably the reason for its reactivity. According to geologists, the volcano is currently inactive, but in 2011 a 9-magnitude earthquake struck Japan, which is why researchers suspect it may cause the volcano to reoperate. Research has shown that in the event of an eruption, Mount Fuji would be a major disaster because more than 25 million people live in areas around the mountain. 8. Mount Merapi. Mount Merapi, Indonesia is another mountain in the country that is among the most dangerous volcanoes in the world, with an altitude of 2,900 meters, one of the most active volcanoes in the world. The withdrawal of smoke and lava on May 11, 2018 caused the evacuation of all surrounding areas. Currently about 24 million people live in areas around Mount Merapi and are at risk of this volcano. The most important reason for Indonesia's Mount Merapi is the possibility of ash spraying, which can spread to large areas and threaten the health of the people of the region. 9. Mount Krakatoa. Krakatoa volcano in Indonesia is one of the most notorious and mortal volcanoes in history, indirectly killing 36,000 people. The 1886 eruption created a massive tsunami. The energy released from the eruption was 13,000 times higher than the energy of the Hiroshima atomic bomb. Tambor's ash and dust entered the Earth's atmosphere, whereby global air cooled for 5 years. The explosion destroyed the entire volcanic island, but over the next 50 years a new island was formed instead. The new island, Anak Krakatau, has grown considerably since the 1920s, with an altitude of 300 meters, causing a tsunami along the coasts of Sumatra and Java in 2018, killing 430 people. No one knows yet whether the island's significant growth will mean another disaster in the area, but in any case the location of the volcanic island located between Java and Sumatra could pose a risk to the lives of residents of the two islands. 10. Tambora Volcano. Mount Tambora in Indonesia, at an altitude of 2,722 meters, is another dangerous volcano in the world, but the last eruption occurred in 1967, but the worst was in 1815, known as the deadliest eruption in history, leading to a year without summer in parts of Earth. The 1815 Mount Tambora explosion was the largest explosion of a volcano in 10,000 years, producing a large amount of dust and ash, destroying plants and crops and causing tens of thousands of deaths and major tsunamis. Volcano's eruption sent millions of tons of dust, ash and sulfur dioxide into the air. The extent of the eruption was so large that every 160 square kilometers was covered with ash as high as 3 meters, affected by the Earth's climate, and global temperatures dropped by 3 degrees. In addition to food shortages, communicable diseases such as typhus became common and thousands of people were forced to migrate elsewhere. According to the Journal of Geography History, 12,000 people died directly and 71,000 as a result of the eruption complications. The eruption that year was so severe that it caused the following summer to be cold in 1816, causing frostbite in parts of Asia, Western Europe, New England and parts of North America. Due to summer snowfall and food shortages, expensiveness and famine caused millions of people to starve in Europe and North America. Indonesia has more than 17,000 islands in the Pacific Fire Belt and earthquake due to its location in the subduction zone. The occurrence of numerous natural disasters, including earthquakes, volcanoes and tsunamis, causes many victims and great losses every year. For example, the 2004 earthquake on the island of Sumatra triggered a massive tsunami across the Indian Ocean that killed 226,000 people in 13 countries, including more than 120,000 citizens in Indonesia.